The Immaterial Games podcast with these guys.
Can I have a backup plan? It's always about plan B, or C,
Does
or
that mean we
D.
always go with Plan B, or?
No, actually, sometimes through the edit, I have actually gone through plan A.
No, okay.
So it's just to keep it fine, keep it sweet, like the chocolate that I really should put in the fridge because of the heat.
You got heat problems over there?
Yeah, it's like close to the hottest April on record.
Oh my God, this is like the coldest April on record over
Yeah.
here. Like we're rocking a sweet. Hold on, let me pull up the weather app here.
Okay.
We got. So it's noon, so it's as warm as it can be. It is 9 degrees and cloudy.
9 degrees and cloudy.
Yeah.
Right. Alright, well, let me just pull up my weather app from my phone here, 1714. So, yeah, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It is 23 degrees.
I hate you. Why couldn't it be like that when I was there in October?
I know, right? What was it? Pissing it down.
Yeah.
And wind.
It was wet. It was wet
Yeah.
for sure. It was damp. It wasn't a lot of. When I was there wasn't a lot of rain per se. It was just very damp. It was like moments away from raining for most of the time that I was there,
Mm.
with
And
a
then
little bit of actual rain.
Then, yeah, the odd overnight shower.
Yeah.
And that's just what sent it to where it was. But yeah, no, that's 23 degrees now. It's at its highest, 26.
I was hoping that Stefan would come over to Canada and it would like be an upgrade, But he's actually going to get a downgrade at the rate we're going.
Yeah, it's just mad. But yeah, it's not about the weather. It's about the games. So
Yeah, games.
kind of maybe games, gaming discussion, and cocaine. Apparently, that's your preview.
Games and cocaine.
Yeah. Actually, that led me to something that we were watching a soccer football program to make sure it's inclusive for the world. And one of the presenters was talking about how the match was so boring that the most interesting thing that he did was eat a packet of crisps and have Coke. And there was an awkward 30 seconds before one of the other presenters goes, "We should specify he meant Coca-Cola." Because, it's the footballer or soccer player's thing. It's, Coke is the experience.
Oh, is that is that why your football games get so rowdy?
Yeah,
Everyone's just hopped up on Coke.
yeah. It's just how it is.
Hey, speaking of drugs, you have a good 420 yesterday?
Oh, I absolutely did by not partaking in any drugs.
Oh yeah, just staying home, away from all the
Yeah.
madness.
Yeah, just watching while everyone else in the surrounding area was on the drugs. I could smell it through the windows.
And sleeping in.
Yeah,
It's just
nothing better.
It's just a hand made of smoke just tapping on your window. It's like, let me in.
Yeah, it was between that and the vape sticks going round. It was hard to know, but it was, considering it was very cloudy for the sunny day we had yesterday. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, while we're here, this is the Immaterial Gamers podcast, episode number 38. 38.
Sure,
Yeah.
you know better than I do.
Yeah, I it's not like I have a list. It's just that I apparently have a memory. So I don't know where that came from though, because I can remember this, and yet I'm having trouble remembering what I had to eat yesterday. Oh yeah, no, I remember now. It's all good. It's not for anyone to really discuss, but here we go. It's Ryan, and we got Duncan,
Yo, that's me.
and the live studio audience of Steph.
Silent but deadly.
Yeah,
The Stefan
So-
story.
yeah, silent but deadly. Toilets around the globe. But yeah, so we've had a little catch up and talk, and this is a point where I now sit in a sweatbox for like about another 50 minutes for sound and acoustic quality. Well, a little bit more. Oh, we've got a message from the producer. You don't know how true that comment is. We said plenty of comments then, but I agree with all of them.
I think he's referring to the silent but deadly comment.
Ah, yes. Okay, that'll be fine. But yeah. So we'll set in for acoustic quality, which brings me to a thing I now actually figured out in the editing system how to upgrade the audio slightly, because apparently I've been pushing through all the videos at 12 bits audio when it should be 24, because that's DVD quality and that's what the internet should be using. There's also a 36-bit, but I don't want to make it,
We're not ready for that technology.
No, not yet. But DVD, Blu-ray quality, perfect.
Yeah, if you get to 48-bit, our voices actually start to come out of the computer to attack our audience.
Yeah, they're like actually the mouths come out. It's like the bits on the bass speaker just look like lips and just blah 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 blah. But yeah, it's funny to think that I act the way that I do without any form of drugs. It's a scientific marvel. It's a mystery. But it's probably also the heat. Who knows?
Get heated.
Yeah, get heated.
Just blaze.
So it feels like what happens when you're in a sort of a bungalow in your latter years. You don't blaze it up. You just turn on the heater. Just get heated.
Poor man's 420. Just turn the radiator all the way up.
Yeah.
Don't do any drugs.
Yeah, electric fireplace. Everything's good to go. So we will now that we've got this thinking of that blazed, warmed up, which is hilarious. Yeah, I did the thing. So it's time to go and do the other thing. It's time for what's been played.
What's being played?
And Duncan, the floor is yours, sir.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since I was last on here, so I've got stuff built up. I'll try not to take 45 minutes, which I say every single time it's my turn to talk about what I play, and then I do anyway because that's how I roll.
Yeah. Hey, it's the personality. It's how it goes, mate. But it's all yours.
Yeah. So I suppose, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I should at least confess that Heroclix is starting to slowly take over my life. I can't stop playing it. There have been days where I've played it multiple times in a row, and I've just spent like whole days playing the game with friends and family. I think an action dial might actually be growing out of my bum right now. That could be a hemorrhoid. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure what's going on there.
But you just feel one day that you'll just try and move, and you won't actually move anywhere.
Oh, my feet will just be glued to a plastic base.
And you'll see you've got some sort of stats, some numbers you don't know where they come from. But
it's like, oh man, only 6 movement. I was kind of hoping for better.
I've got to run for the bus. What do you mean 6 movement?
It's like, oh man, I'm barely gonna get downstairs with 6 movement. Then I gotta wait 2 whole turns, otherwise I'll have to push myself just to get to work.
just the whole point of sort of getting any sort of lift or like carpool or something, just to keep yourself going.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair, talking is a free action, so
It is a free action in Heroclix, yes.
Yeah, so I've been told. So it's just like, hey, can someone just pick me up? I'm out of movement points.
I do have a character that actually does let you pick up other characters and move them.
Ah, well, there we go then.
He's a fat Spider-Man, is what he is.
Fat Spider-Man. He's not shirtless Spider-Man, is he?
He's not shirtless, but he is showing a bit of midriff because of his muffin top.
Ah, okay then.
But yeah, he's great. But yeah, no, the Heroclix is consuming my soul and time and money. It's
Good.
a problem. I need help.
But
yeah.
Heroclix aware, everyone.
Every year, at least one person loses their life to Heroclix. They don't actually die. They just lose their life and are just consumed entirely by Heroclix.
Ah, fair enough.
What else have I been doing? Oh God. Right, of course. I've been playing Overcooked with my sister.
Overcooked. Oh
Yeah.
man, I've watched streams of that, and it's frantic and mental. But I'll let you explain why it's so frantic and mental.
Okay, so Overcooked is it's a couch co-op type of game. Which refers to a type of game that only has local multiplayer and is intended to be played with multiple people at the same, seating arrangement.
Yeah.
So basically, in Overcooked, you're trying to, as the name sort of implies, you're just trying to cook a meal, with your friends or whoever you're playing with.
Hmm.
Uh, but they're not. This is not just This is not your everyday kitchen. This is not your. This is not your average soup kitchen. This is the maps that you play in have increasingly absurd gimmicks in them.
Oh, oh
Uh,
yes.
e- Everything from floors that shift from side to side to uh, platforms with your cooking utensils on over like boiling hot lava floating around that you only have like 5 seconds of access to per rotation. There's one map where you're in space and the ingredients box is shared between you, and you can only access it if your partner or one of your partners sends it over
Oh
by pushing a
god.
button.
I remember one of the streams, like one of them isn't like one a convoy. So it's like sort of two trucks or something that
Oh
just
yeah,
merge together to to allow you
yeah.
to.
There's one that's two trucks that go back and forth between each other, and then there's one that's three trucks, and the three trucks is just like like one half of one truck rotates between the other two on the left side.
Oh god.
So it's like you have to try and figure out how to manage your time, and that the one that moves is the one that has like the send out conveyor belt. So like
So the
you always
service hatch is the.
so you only have limited access to that.
Oh man.
So yes, it's an absurd, difficult, and increasingly frustrating game, and it is a ton of fun.
Mm, I've seen it and God, it's hilarious. Just sort of like, sort of trying to communicate with each other of to sort of what you're aiming to do and getting it done while all this madness seems to go on around. It does look, sort of absolutely, well, hilarious to be honest.
Yeah, it's one of it's the thing about Overcooked that makes it interesting is that like you can, as soon as you got it figured out, and it's just like it's like you think you've got a good system going, things are
Mm,
moving quickly, and then the map just throws you a curveball or someone makes one mistake, and then everything breaks down. All communication breaks down, your rhythm breaks down, something bursts into flames, everything just goes to shit immediately.
mm. Oh, now it reminds me of a little something. It's weird in a sense. It just reminds me of Space Team. So a
Space
mobile.
Team.
Yeah, it's a mobile phone app. Again, designed to be played in as a party game with groups of people. And the setting is that you're on a spaceship trying to escape some weird wormhole that's gonna like destroy you and send you into bits over the vast infinite space. But every person has a control panel on their phone, and they've all got little dials, switches, options that they need to choose, and all the names of them are ridiculous. Um, and the idea behind it is that there can be any between 2 and 4 of you playing this, and you will each get an instruction to your phone that you have to relay to the other players, where then every successful command followed sends your ship further towards the next zone. Every failed command sends your ship closer to the wormhole. Um, but it's absolute chaos trying to communicate stuff with each other because it starts pretty easy. It'll be like flick this switch to yes, flick this switch to no, and players will be able to do that, and you then have to sort of understand where you're communicating with each other and whether it's worth communicating, because some of the instructions are for your panels, and there's no point trying to confuse everyone else with an instruction that you need to do. And then
Yeah.
sort of later levels, parts of the ship will break, sort of like panels will just fall off and you have to put them back on. And there's like there's sort of group-based instructions as well. It'll be like a solar flare will come up, which means you then have to turn your phone upside down to stop yourself getting blinded and stuff like that. So just that sort of chaos is sort of where I feel Overcooked is when things don't go your way a little bit, when it starts to end up being a bit panic stations.
So sounds about right. But
So,
yeah, it's like I have to say it's one of those games that's like it's sort of in what's it called? The Cuphead school of thought, where
Mm.
it's like immensely frustrating when you can't pull it off and you don't understand what you're supposed to be doing. But it's also like very satisfying and very fun when you do get it down and you do understand what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like it's a very satisfying game to watch and to play when everyone knows what they're supposed to do and is doing what they're supposed to be doing
Mm.
correctly and consistently.
Yeah, seen that sort of. It's like it's absolute bliss when when you see a team of people just gel together and everything goes their way. But that also being said, it may be the sort of masochist in me, but I do kind of enjoy it when it goes wrong. Maybe
Yeah,
that's just
no,
maybe that's just me.
at first, the first couple times it goes wrong, it's fun. The next 12 times it goes wrong might not. It gets less fun after that.
Yeah, no, it's like all those sort of games where you've got sort of restarts and stuff like that, and especially with sort of Overcooked being sort of a few minutes at a time, really, isn't it? Each level. I mean, how long do you usually get? Sort of 3 minutes, something like that.
Like 3 minutes or something like that. Like not a lot of time per round. Every round is just a couple minutes long.
Mm. But yeah, there's sort of it's very quick that if you make a mistake you can start again, but it's also so quick that, let's just say, stumbling and trying to get back up to speed again in that time limit can be a bit tough.
Yeah, but no, I've been having fun with that. We actually got pretty far in like only 2 or 3 play sessions. We've gotten to what I think is the last world in the game.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's not a very long game, especially if like you've got a good group, and you can check off your 3 stars as quickly as possible.
Mm. Yeah, because that's where I feel that's where its replay value is, really, isn't it? Is to 3-star every level.
Yeah. We so far I think have only left behind 1 3-star so far, other than the one that we're probably currently on.
Mm.
So no, we've done a pretty good job so far, and been having a lot of fun. We
Okay.
may or may not move on to Overcooked 2 when we're done with that. We'll see.
Mm. I've heard it's it's more of the same, and that's not a bad thing. So yeah, no, see how you go with that.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to mention before I turn the microphone over to you, so to
Okay.
speak. So about my Pokemon Bingo thing. This is as
Yes.
much an update to you as it is to anyone who may be listening.
Yep.
So we've hit a bit of a stumbling block with the Pokemon Bingo.
Oh no.
And the stumbling block happens to be in front of a cliff, so we may have a problem.
Oh. Oh.
So
Okay.
we discovered that when we last played the game, apparently my game didn't save, or the save got deleted somewhere. I don't know what happened, but I only have data up to the previous time that we played, not the most recent one.
Ah.
So she somehow has got an hour more progress than me that I didn't save.
Oh, that's
And
awkward.
yeah, so at the time that we were going to, record another play session and, maybe get further along in our game, we discovered this and it was like, okay, well, we have 2 options here. Either we start all over again, or I play an hour by myself to get up to that point and just accept the fact that, we have inconsistent data, and just explain
Mm.
what happened.
Yeah.
And then my sister goes on and tells me how she wants to, try a different Pokemon game. She doesn't really want to play Emerald because I guess she's been playing it too much, which really is her
Okay.
own fault.
Hmm.
So we're thinking about starting again in Pokemon Crystal,
Okay.
all the way from the beginning. And what we're going to be doing, or we want to do, we're still figuring out how the logistics of how to make it work, but instead of doing a classic bingo, which is, do a row or a line,
Mm.
we are thinking about doing a lockout bingo, which is basically we share a common card of 25 goals, and the first person to 13 wins.
Okay. That one would be even more interesting. Because you sort of
Yes.
seeing where you are, whether it's what sort of marks on the bingo you're close to, whether you feel you need to sacrifice some to go for some that.
Yeah, and you can kind of track. You can kind of track your opponent's progress to see like what kind of things they're working on, and you can be like, okay, well they're working on that, so it's not worth my time to try and beat them at that.
Mm.
So I'll work on this instead.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks because we have this whole other series that we need to develop and record and finish, relatively soon. Because I mean, Monster Prom's gonna be done soon.
Yeah. By the time this podcast comes out, episode 5 will be on there, which means we're on the last 2, so 5 and 6 will be there. But no, you do what you need to do on that. It's fine.
Yep. Yeah. No. So we're still figuring out how to deal with that. But that's where we are on that project.
Yeah. No worries. I say we'll see where that goes. Like I say, I wish you luck that something can be sorted from that. And what we learn on there is saves can be arseholes.
Yeah. Sometimes that save state that you thought you made did not get made the way you thought it did. Always double check.
Yeah. It's always I'm making sure. Hell, it could be worse. It could be like, save states are arseholes. I mean, look what's happened with my Resonance of Fate videos. I've had that where I've lost about 45 minutes an hour of progress myself, and that's because a cutscene wouldn't load. It's like, you are a twat. So, yeah, no. We'll see how that happens. So,
Ryan.
I believe the microphone. Yes. I'm Ryan.
What do you
So, what do you want to know about the most, you reckon, here? Do you want to know about a Metroidvania-style platformer, a spaceship roguelike, or a giant third-person shooter set in the ruins of Washington, D.C.?
Sorry, what was that third one?
It's a third-person shooter set in the ruins of Washington, D.C.
What's that one all about?
So that one would be Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
Oh, that thing. Yes,
Yeah.
I've heard such a thing. I gotta be honest, I played like 4 hours of The Division 1, and I never got back to it. So Division 2 is totally not on my radar. But by all means, let us know. Talk to us.
Okay,
Tell us your story.
Yeah, so this is Ubisoft's. Wow, I think this is probably one of the few sequels to a shared world experience that are actually quite good. So this, like I say, it's a third-person shooter set in DC, and it's a continuation of the Division franchise, where you were a bunch of special Homeland Security agents, sleeper agents, effectively, who were called into action when some absolute moron decided to spread a smallpox-like virus through New York, which then took over around America, possibly the world. It's never the isolation of the Americas from that point is sort of felt through the lore in the game. Yeah, so you would walk through a scaled down, well, it was a 2-scale New York city at that point. And you'd walk on, take on the various factions. They had, basic enemy types, and they had some variations. And you wanted to basically find out why this the virus had taken place, who had done, who had caused the virus, and
who 12 monkeys
try
the world.
And restore order to New York. Near the end of the game, you find out there's a rogue division agent who's decided.
Roguelike?
No, not a roguelike. He's a rogue division agent who has decided that the guy's research that killed off 90% of the population wasn't good enough.
Huh.
He had no faith for the 10% that were left. So you managed to defeat some mercenary corporation that that wants to take New York for itself, and he fucks off and tells you, "Come follow me." And then nothing happened for the year and a half of content. And now suddenly you're a new agent who is in Washington, D.C. because everything is destabilized around America. So you're now in a 1-to-1 scale of sort of central D.C. now.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, well, good old Washington dub. Yeah, same sort of concept. You got your sort of main missions, your side missions, and it's Ubisoft, so collectibles and Safe houses, radio towers. To get more of the map, but there's little changes that I actually think have improved it a little bit. So it was generally you were taking on bullet soaky enemies, and you came across the same types of enemies over and over again. Each faction generally had a guy that ran towards you and shot you, a guy that threw grenades at you, some sort of charger who would hit you with melee or shotgun stuff to sort of stop you from just hiding in cover, and then some form of like sniper or special based person from there. Now they've still got them.
Sounds like
divisions.
pretty standard, first-person shooter RPG fare.
Yeah.
Sounds like the kind of enemies you'd find in like a Borderlands type of game or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And they've sort of improved on that because now there's still like 4 factions, but it's not story based that you're just facing like, oh right, I'm facing looters, which are just generally people with handguns. And then now I'm going to face the slightly harder enemy, the escaped prisoners, and now I'm going to take on the highly armed private military corporation. Now you kind of experience all of them at once now, but they've in this so far we've got the hyenas, which were effectively the looters, but they've got better armory. The outcasts, which are sort of like the New Edeners from Far Cry New Dawn. They just sort of use primitive stuff like crossbows and suicide bombers. Then you've got the True Sons, which are the big military base. These are sort of rogue soldiers who've just went for themselves and have decided to follow the Second Amendment to the ridiculous degree.
But that's the one about the guns, right?
Yeah, that's the one about the guns.
All men have the right to bear arms and use them at all times for every activity in your daily life.
Yeah. Yeah, the American dream.
Opening a jar of peanut butter, bang.
Yeah. Put your baby
Kicking
to bed.
Your kid, put your baby to bed.
Shoot the crib.
Exactly.
To let the cot bed go down, not anything else. But yeah, so there's all these factions, but each of them now have all their own different specials, and they've got more than just grenadier, sniper, and dude who runs forward. Just to think on that, like I say, the outcasts have got the suicide bomber. Now that technically is considered a charger, but the sort of idea that now I've actually got to shoot them from range so they can blow up further away. There's like weird radio controlled operators that the hyenas have, where they just send little buggies with explosives towards you instead of them. True Sons have got medics that can actually sort of pick characters back up, so if you don't take them out, they'll start reviving the squad, a little bit like Payday.
Are any of the hyenas voiced by Eric Andre?
No, I'm afraid not. It's weird because I think they're supposed to be called the Hyena Council. It's just like a bunch of gang members who have banded together, but no, not one of them. Not one of them at all, which is very...
I'm a potato!
No, definitely not. But, yeah,
Imagine just like a really serious, like group of gangsters, like having like a meeting talking about like what they're gonna, what their next big score is gonna be. One of them's just dressed up as a potato, and he's like, "Yo, I'm a potato."
Oh man, that'd be
that's just like
mental.
It's like that's just Andre. Don't talk to him.
Yeah, just leave.
Just pretend he's not there.
Yeah, just
he'll go away eventually.
He's the elephant in the room. Just
No, he's the potato in the room.
He's fine. Yeah, the starch in the Bartch. Wait, what?
Starch in the Bartch.
I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with starch at the time, so I just went with Bartch. But yeah, no, so I like that. They've changed the skill system around because it got a bit too dependent on skills at the end of the day. It's supposed to be a shooter. There's no ultimate skills anymore. Currently, not at the moment. I believe there's like this weird sort of new game plus thing that happens that once you sort of complete the bulk of the story content, another faction just comes in and completely wipes the floor with everyone, and you've got to do it again. But now that you then have specializations. So it sort of changes sort of the world level feature that was added later to the Division 1. But yeah, sort of enjoying it so far.
It's kind of like
There's-
starting a new Metroid game. It's like you lose all your powers, but you might get some new ones you never had before in the previous game.
yeah. So that's sort of the thing, and they've got the year one pass in. So instead of the season pass, it's basically the early access pass, like what you would experience in Siege. You know, this sort of thing of, right, if you've got this pass, you'll get access to the stuff early, but everyone will get it, or will, get it once they've earned enough of the bullshit currency or something like that. But yeah, it's enjoyable. The dark zones from the first game, they're in there still. And other than the story missions where there's no one in the dark zone other than you, I haven't ventured in there because I am a coward. I don't like
Oh.
the idea of the dark zone. Well, I like the concept of the dark zone, but
The
my
dark
paranoid
side.
ass really wouldn't handle it. So the way that they have PvP in the game is that they do have conflict, which is match made 4v4 maps if you really want to just PvP. It's got the PvE, which is the main story, and then it's got the dark zone, which is the combination of PvE and PvP. So you walk into the dark zone, you can team up with allies, you take on, stronger enemies to get contaminated loot, which is generally better than stuff outside, well, or can be better than stuff outside in the game. The catch is that you have to extract that loot. It has to go out by helicopter and get decontaminated, and it'll be then in your stash when you get back. And then at that point, at any time, anyone can just sort of leave the group or not join the group and go rogue. And they go rogue by shooting you, or killing your mates, or ripping your items off the helicopter by just cutting the line and stealing it for themselves. And at that point, it's then just a case of you can't trust anyone. I mean, technically, at that point, you shouldn't even be able to trust your mates that you could go in there with, because the idea that they got on that is greed is good. Anyone is just an excuse for you to.
How about that?
Yeah, anyone is just an excuse for you to get more items. So the fact that it tries to even turn your mates against you is a sort of a concern on that one. But
In other
yeah,
words, only play the Division and only do dead zones with people that you know in real life.
yeah,
So that way, worst case scenario, you at least know where they live.
yeah, exactly. So just
Throw a
punch
brick through
'em.
their window. It's just like, I know what you did last night on
Yeah.
the Division 2.
Yeah, hope that gun was worth it.
It's
Dick.
like, return the gun now.
Yeah, trade it, you bastard. But yeah, but what they also didn't say, and it didn't really, the way that they worked the sort of the penalty for going rogue was that you had a separate level to your character level. So you had a dark zone level, and certain areas of the dark zone were for certain levels of dark zone level. It makes sense when you think about it. And if you went rogue, you had a high chance of losing experience if you were then killed. And the way that it worked, you could go rogue, and then you could be disavowed and then hunted. And each level of rogueness meant more penalties if you actually got shot. So the idea is it's supposed to balance out the fact of, well, you can turn on your mates, but is it worth it? And
Is
a lot
it?
of the time,
It's never worth it to turn on your friends.
a lot of the time it was, because it was a bit buggy sometimes, and people could just hack their way through parking lots. So there's a new anti-cheat system on the game. Whether it works or not, I don't know, because I've not gone in the dark zone. Other than the story missions, like I said, you're alone then, very lonely. But it also used to be the fact that you would also lose experience if you weren't rogue and died. Now they've apparently changed that a little bit, so that you will always be gaining experience while you're in there, and you'll only lose experience if you go rogue. And
I see.
And Steph has just said, always kill your friends.
Always kill your friends. I'm going to be more careful when I play Rainbow Six with him.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, he's going to be coming to Canada in like 2 weeks.
Oh God, you better be careful.
Yeah, no shit.
Jesus. But yeah. So I'm having fun with that. I'm level 19 of 30, and when you hit 30, that's when it becomes gear score again, a bit like Destiny and every other shared looter, or even Anthem and stuff like that. You know, Anthem exists. That's a thing.
I've heard.
Yeah. But I haven't gone back to that in a while. But hopefully, maybe when they put some content in and not and I can't believe this happened to BioWare, when you have people not cutting your fiber broadband, maybe you can, patch some stuff in and have those features that we were expecting. So, but yeah, so I've been enjoying that, and you know what? I'll keep the other 2 games as something to discuss over the next couple of weeks because I've also played them. So, yeah, we'll do that. So,
Very well.
that's what's been played, and this is the point where I now get my phone because I'm gonna go and pull up the news for news time.
News time.
And that's a sufficient break that I can put a sound effect in.
Phone.
Phone.
Pick up your phone.
Phone. I don't know why we're doing that, but yeah, pick up your phone. Anyway,
I seem to remember Terry once having like a sound effect, like a ringtone on his phone. It was just like, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone.
I don't know, I think this is the one that Steph had on his phone at one point, that every time he got a text message, he was like, fuck you. I don't know.
Sounds like something Steph would have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can agree with that one, can't you, Steph? I know you're there. Oh, we got a message.
Still there?
A message from the producer. Yes. So yeah, let's move on to the first one. So yeah, in terms of gaming news, not much had actually happened. In terms of real world news,
yeah, like one of the biggest things ever happened, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
I remember being in school and reading about this, and I was like, I'm sorry, did I just read that wrong?
Yeah, I mean, so for anyone who's been living under a rock, I mean, how good's your rock? Does it have Wi-Fi? I mean, I'd try and find something. But, yeah, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, France, on last Monday evening, I should make sure of that because we're recording on a Sunday, had caught fire, and was significantly damaged. The main spire of the building destroyed, the roof had gone. Pretty much all that was left was the vault and the North Tower and the surrounding walls. So the structure is pretty much gone.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only things that didn't go are the things that really can't go, like all the shit made of stone and stuff.
Yeah,
that's still there, but all the wood is gone.
Yeah, and so the scaffold that they were doing there, because it was having renovations, and it turned out later on that apparently what had happened was that there was some electrical fault in one of the work gear that just caused the sparks to set the thing aflame, and like what Duncan said, this electrical fault caused the building made out of wood to just go.
You really don't want to be the guy responsible for that. You know, you don't want to be the foreman of that project. Be like, oh shit, my crew accidentally set on fire one of the oldest buildings in France.
Yeah. When there was already it's a €6 million refurbishment, or what was it, restoration project.
I don't think they're getting that. I don't think they're getting their full paycheck on that one.
No, there's going to be no finishing on time bonus for that. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, no, it led to the world, being quite depressed at this big significant, form of art. Effectively, this cathedral that has been there for hundreds of years had went down in hours. So
yep.
A lot of donations were made.
Yeah,
and there's a story about that later.
Particularly by a lot of wealthy French businessmen and companies.
Yeah.
Made large contributions towards the restoration efforts that will be undergone to restore the building.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. So gamers also decided they wanted to see what they could sort of do to establish a memorial to the building, and according to trueachievements.com, I think that's the website, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, trueachievements.com, and make sure I source my information correctly. Yep. People have decided to use Minecraft for fitting tributes to Notre Dame. And what I can do is I can try and see if I can get these for the video version of the podcast.
Ooh,
I might put up some images.
Video. Very nice, very nice.
And credit them, because I'm a good boy.
Some of these look really nice. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 here. I mean, particularly the one by Reddit user Treading Corns.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the sort of big one. I
These
think that's the one I can put up. So for those listening to or watching the video podcast, there should be an image of a Minecraft Notre Dame Cathedral for your eyes to peruse. But sort of might cycle through the others. But did I cut you off there?
No, I'm just admiring the work. I just like I think like I liked that the first guy, John S1212 or whatever his name is,
Yeah.
he's gone with the sort of like that weird lighting, like
Oh
the
yeah, he's got that
the
weird
sort of
realistic
like
texture pack.
the realistic texture pack. It's just like, oh my god, and it's like it makes it look nice, but I think that the overall like design and structure of Trudon
Oh,
is
Treading
definitely
Corns is
Treading
is
Corns.
is
That's superior. It definitely looks like a much larger project, to be sure.
yeah, and there's the other one as well, the Glazinator's one. Reddit user Glazinator is also, he's done a nice,
It's sort of a
nice.
simplified version, so it's sort of a cutesy. Like I was like, oh, I could almost make that if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So it's nice to see that people have gone there and sort of made these structures, so people can have a look at, a slightly blocky but otherwise gorgeous looking building, which hopefully in some time will get restored to what it is, because it's salvageable. It's something that can be rebuilt. It's going to take time, but
Yeah.
hopefully that will come back. So yeah, good on you, Minecrafters. It's always good to show some good stuff that isn't noob cursing idiots.
Yeah.
So it's nice. So one of the other sort of people in the sort of group of people in the games industry at this point, it's not one that usually happens. We're going to link while we're on the Notre Dame subject. Ubisoft. I've not experienced this before. So before we quickly go into, there's the idea of review bombing. So a company does something stupid, and as revenge, users will negatively critique the video game.
Yeah.
Not because of the game itself.
They'll deliver a series of negative, reviews to basically just to attack the either the company generally for some kind of practice that they believe is not ethical or whatever.
Yeah, generally something outside of the actual game itself is really where the review bomb comes into it. I mean, that gets thrown in there with, honest critique of the games and the faults of the game itself. But generally, a review bomb is, a company did something bad in the news. Let's review bomb it. Most recent example would be Epic and Gearbox with the Borderlands thing, because people would review bomb Borderlands 1, 2, and the pre-sequel because Borderlands 3 was coming out as an Epic exclusive. It's that's the example, but I have to know this: when have you seen it in reverse?
The only thing it's not gaming related, but I can think of one instance where sort of a reverse review bombing did occur. How about the 2016 Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's like, oh, everyone thinks that this movie is. Everyone who hates this movie is just this, sexist basement dweller, or homophobe asshole, or whatever. So, hey, this is a bunch of people came in and, left positive reviews for no other reason other than just stick it to the, to the patriarchy or
stick
whatever.
it to the bigot.
So, and then it turned out that the movie was a pile of shit anyway, so it wasn't really worth it.
Yeah,
So, but
unfortunate.
that's one example. One example.
Yeah. So no, definitely. So yeah, this is exactly what happened with Ubisoft though, because they made a €500,000 donation, and are currently giving away Assassin's Creed Unity, which makes sense because it was set in Paris. And I'll guess what's a feature in Paris.
Well, I have to imagine that Notre Dame makes an
you
appearance.
You would be correct, sir. So so they're giving that away for Unity. As of when this podcast comes out, it'll be available until Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, depending on where you are. But yeah, so they've given they've given Unity away. They've made this donation for 500 grand. I know there's this let's just think of stuff like. I know there's discussions about money and where it goes to and charity benefits and stuff like that. But still in this case, this is a games company generally designed for making money and making all the money, just shelling out, just €500,000 like it's nothing to help repair a significant, cultural building. I mean, that also makes sense that Ubisoft are French Canadian, aren't they? So
they're French. Yeah, I was gonna say.
So sort of it also makes sense on there. But it's nice, and as a result of that, to go back into it, like we got in this story from PC Gamer, yeah, people have just now been giving positive reviews to Unity because Ubisoft have made the donation. I mean, probably giving away the game for free also helps, but still. They basically turned a game that could have been, purchased with money into a cultural, art thing. I was just saying, message from the producer says, I've been told Duncan sounds American.
Oh, I sound American, do I?
Apparently.
What, is it because I say Notre Dame? I mean, that is how you say it. It's not, I mean, if you want me to sound American, I could say Notre Dame, except I feel like that would be, just very culturally insensitive.
No. Yes.
Would you prefer I went Notre Dame?
Ooh. There we go.
There's been a lot of discussion in the news about how people feel about all these, French government. God damn it! Just cut that out. All these French corporate bodies donating large sums of money to the restoration of Notre Dame, and I can't help but feel like maybe it is in poor taste to be, to get irritated over people spending all this money on restoring this thing. It's like, listen, like, can we just be happy about the fact that the building is salvageable and that people are trying to salvage it? It's like,
yeah,
it's just like not to get off topic of games here, but there's these people like setting fires in downtown because people are spending money on Notre Dame and not the lower class. And it's just like, I feel like it's like I get where you're coming from, but I mean, corporate entities don't just get money out of nowhere. Like, they get money because people buy their stuff. I mean, business is business. They're billionaires because they've done something worthy of making them billionaires. Like, that's just how capitalism works.
Yeah.
I mean, and second of all, it's like, don't you think, of all things, setting fires in the downtown area of Paris is like the most inappropriate response to the thing what just happened? That being an enormous fire that just consumed a major French landmark.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, come on. Like, there's other ways to solve this problem.
That's more of sort of the continuation of the Yellow Vest protests, isn't it? Specifically, that happened this weekend, which, it's, look, some sort of unity, and that's not a game pun, that's just what I mean, sort of, but unity and sort of getting together and, trying to actually sort out things. I mean, let's be honest, Paris is known for two things at this point. It's the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame. And currently, do you really want to sort of throw other stuff into that, negatively? No. So get together, sort of show support, and then sort this stuff out after. Continue to sort it out. I'm not saying, throw it onto the wayside, but just know that you've had a significant cultural landmark gone up in flames. Let's make sure that landmark's still there, and then work on the other stuff on the side.
Yeah, it's like I get it, I get it, and I'm not like defending big business either. Like, I saw some shady comments being thrown around by the donors themselves. Like, one guy specifically requested that his like €100 million donation be like treated as a 90% tax credit as opposed to the government sanctioned 60%. And I'm just like, oh my god, for fuck's sake, dude. It's like two groups of people on polar opposite ends of the argument, both behaving completely inappropriately. It's
Yeah.
just like, come on. Like, why do we have to be like this? Like, why does it have to be this way? You know?
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna donate to charity, donate to charity. If you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna, ask for, better wages or better living conditions or lower unemployment, then do that. You know, work through the, sanctioned government channels to work on that. It's like you're both behaving foolishly over a tragic event that really shouldn't have even where this shouldn't have even been come up as an issue in the first place.
Nah.
In this particular venue,
Yeah. No, exactly. So I think people should just be sort of trying to think realistically about the situation, but people are just flinging judgment at one another. It's just get together, don't be stupid, mourn the landmark, restore the landmark. It's a simple 4-step plan. I mean, I might be making that a bit too simple, but But anyway, now that we've had that discussion, and with me making a very, very awful pun about 20 seconds ago in regards to that, Judgment, the video game. The new Yakuza game that's coming out, where you don't actually play as a member of the Yakuza. You play as a cop for the first time in the series' history. So a few months ago, I thought we brought this up on the podcast. It turned out it didn't actually get brought up, which is weird considering I'm a big Yakuza fan. And, suggest that anyone who can get the game gets the game, because it's hilarious, it's got a batshit crazy yet relatable story, and, good characters. But, so there was a slight problem where Sega, a couple of months back, had to take Judgment off the shelves in Japan because of a small situation of one of the lead actors of the game, who played the Yakuza member, Kyohei Hamura. The actor was called Pierre Taki. Was arrested on charges of cocaine use and possession. Now, around the world, drug use and possession is considered a bit of it's a no-go, but it's just something that ends up on your record. In Japan, it's shown as the biggest sign of dishonour and disrespect in the country.
Yeah, it's a big thing in the East Asian countries, like Japan, like China, Thailand. Like, they're real fucking serious about drugs in that part of the world.
Yeah, it's like, so I mean, you could have your murders, your violent crime, your sort of, prostitution, pornography, stuff like that. And they would be frowned upon. But sort of this idea that you're sort of dishonouring your body and the life you were given by ruining it with drugs is sort of major there. And it apparently shows how sort of serious it can get when they decided to indefinitely delay the Western release of Judgment and pull all the Japanese stuff while they resolve the issue. And it's the second time Sega has done this, and that's changed the voice and likeness, or currently at this point, changed the facial likeness of the character from the actor, because I should backtrack a little bit. With Yakuza, they make sure that their voice actors are also their sort of the motion captured, effectively. So they try to do that where they can, to the point that beat Takeshi from Takeshi's Castle fame and Ghost in the Shell, and great big director guy. He was in the recent Yakuza game. It was just great. But so they've gone to the point where they will just remove existence of this person from being in the original material, just to make sure that they're just showing that they don't stand by this. So it's odd, but it's been done. Again, I'll try and see if we can get some sort of images of a before and after of what they've changed him to, and you know what? They've not gone too bad. He looks a little bit leaner, to be honest. Doesn't look as like he's got the frown lines anymore. But
okay, I see the before and after. Yeah, that nose got pinched a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it did. He's still got the eyebrows a little bit. Still got that little sort of smirk on the right hand side of the face. It shouldn't change the content of the game too much, but it's just that this is the lesson you sort of need to learn on there. Don't fuck up. In a sort of a country where culture and tradition is sort of critical to how you live over there, don't fuck up. I mean, this is now going to get to a point where Pierre Taki is probably sort of ruined, sort of career-wise now, because they're a musician, voice actor for a massive franchise. Now has had too much of the white lines, and now will suffer a big fine. I tried to make the joke, it didn't work out very well. I'm trying to make a joke out. I'm trying to make the situation lighthearted for a very serious situation, but oh well, that's what you can do. I think the heat's getting to me. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm a little distracted. I'm being showered by gifts. But my mom has just come in.
Showered with gifts. No, right. In that case, then, to make sure that we can get out of the distractions and the heat and actually cool things down a little bit, let's move to the wrap up on this and let's finish this off. So if you liked what you heard, or you wanted something to discuss, or wanted to talk about it, or even listen to it, that'd be great. Please do the like, share, subscribe thing. Click the bell. Share it to your friends and family. Maybe even leave a comment. Do
if
stuff
you feel
that way.
if you feel inclined. I actually have no idea if comments affect the YouTube algorithm or not, but it's always nice to read things that people feel or say about our content. Yeah,
discuss it. I mean, we've also got the the social medias. So they'll be in the video description and the audio description, so they're there to go. The end screen will come up on the YouTube video version for those who want to look at more of our stuff. Maybe like the last uploaded video, which will be whatever it is. And other episodes of the podcast if you want to go back through time and see what predictions we may have made that didn't happen, or features that we used to do, and see how we evolved. We'll go for that. Check out the other content that's on the channel. We've got Stephen continuing his XCOM exploits through the War Table. Hopefully he'll be back on track this Friday, as I took his slot to do a couple of something immaterially different, to find odd games. Telling you, that Elephant in the Room game, a stealth game where you are literally an elephant
in a room.
Is in a room. Yeah, and it's basically get out of the house without being acknowledged. So without finding two people to converse with each other, that, oh my god, there's a giant elephant in the room. So that was there.
So the idea of that game is to not address the elephant in the room.
Correct.
Makes sense.
So or to not be in the situation where you are addressed. But yeah, no, that was fun. So we got a couple of something immaterially different there. We got play session. We got something in the pipeline for an extended play of the Borderlands series. We just need to nail down availability for that to go through the main content of the Borderlands games in preparation for Borderlands 3.
Yeah, I do want to do that. We just got to, like you said, arrange some times for it.
Yeah, we got that. And of course, sibling rivalry. The Monster Prom campaign is still going, but it's coming up to its conclusion.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have at least some episodes of the next Pokemon Bingo to go when that's concluded.
Yeah, and then in the pipeline, Stefan's project, which I'm going to work with him on to see what we can do, will be coming up. Him and Darius have got one going. So and other stuff. So keep an eye on that. And like I say, we're also in the earbuds. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on podcast.com if you want to go there as well. So there's plenty of ways to sort of listen to us. And like I say, so yeah, get in contact, speak, say hi. We don't bite mostly, so yeah. Whatever you can do.
Stefan might bite.
Yeah, Stefan might. Got to be careful on that one. But we're around. Any support is always grateful. So until next week, then. Thank you very much, Duncan.
No problem, Ryan. Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's always good to have the chat. And cheers to our, what I've now just called him, the producer, Stefan, for being around. And thank you all for listening. Until next time, please don't kill each other.
And don't
Could-
set fire to any landmarks or like your downtown area.
Yeah.
There are better ways to protest.
Yeah.
Peaceful ways to protest.
Oh yeah, it could be like what we've had. We've had climate change protesters blocking the capital for weeks or for days. It's hilarious, but you know, it's peaceful. It's fine. I mean, it's bloody warm outside for April. Of course, there's climate change. Anyway, yeah. Until next time, have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.